If you've been feeling caged up for the last 2 years, then stick around for this episode because we're diving in to our secret sauce to make our summer so much fun. Hey, we're Britt and Chris Carmichael, and you're listening to the Elevated Life Podcast. Throughout the 13 years we've been together, we've never ceased in our endless quest to better ourselves.
We've studied top experts, philosophers, and gurus. After years of personal self-experimentation, we found the tools for shifting your beliefs, moving through fears, and developing a positive mindset.
If you're ready for a breakthrough, then you're in the right place because we're here to empower you to take control of your life with simple mindset shifts that create radical transformation.
We'll be diving into topics like personal growth, health, philosophy, spirituality, relationships, success, and mindfulness.
So create some space for yourself and get comfy. It's time to become the badass you were born to be. All right, we have been having the most fun this summer already. It's just gotten started. We've been jet skiing. We've booked a house in Broken Bow in the woods with some friends. We took family photos of a family that we haven't seen in forever. I mean, we are making sure that this year is all about fun.
You know, I think the big deal for us came back in September of 2020. We went and took the family on a vacation to Florida. And it was the last, we knew it was going to be the last vacation we were going to be spending with Brit's stepdad. And what we found in taking that vacation and being intentional about it and setting up the moments that we really wanted to have was that that's where the gold is in life. It comes when you've planned it out, when you've thought it through, and you said, what does this moment need? And so for us, just like we always follow the seasons with everything that we do, now that it's summer, we've got a lot of daylight. We've got a lot of things we can go do. The sun's coming up here at about 6:30 in the morning, and it is going down.
Oh my God, I'm waking up in the 6 a.m. hour.
Which is incredible.
It's weird.
Total feat for you.
I have like a whole day to myself now.
And so what's happened is that we've decided that this summer is going to be about fun because we know we're going to work hard. Summer's always the time where you're going to be burning the midnight oil. You're going to be getting more projects done. You're more full of energy. That sunlight is just, hey, here's our energy.
Or at least it is in the entrepreneurial world, in our world, because we like to live by this philosophy of taking from my birthday in October to Chris's birthday in February, kind of like chill and downtime. We don't book a lot of projects. We don't do a lot of business. And in the summer where there's a lot of extra light and energy, we really like to ramp up and use the extra daylight to be able to produce more and create more. We also balance that with fun because there are more hours in the day. So it allows us to play and to get shit done.
And I really don't, for me in the summer, I don't need a lot more rest. Like I love to rest in the winter. I love to hibernate. When the sun goes down at 5 p.m., I'm done. Like it's shutting everything down. It's getting my pajamas on. It's like the day's over, having my sip of tea and calling it. But when the summer's here, I don't need that rest. So normally where I'd work really hard and then rest. Now I work really hard and then play. And so it's that time to start thinking about how are you going to play this summer? How are you going to get into a mode where you think about these things would be super fun to do and then organize it, put it on a calendar, schedule it, and make it happen? Because what we figured out is that even if you have all these ideas, if you know you want to have a fun life, which I don't know why you wouldn't.
I always say if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong.
So you know that if you're doing that, then you have to plan it out. You have to call all those people. You have to set it up. Like becoming adult has been the wildest time in realizing that scheduling and all that stuff is a thing. And so as long as you get in the calendar, everyone's going to be on page and you can start to really have that kind of life that you want to. If you don't schedule it, if you're not intentional with it, it will never happen.
You know, it's so interesting because so many people like myself are creative and spontaneous and just want to live in the moment. And they're anti-structure. They're like, I don't want a schedule. I don't want structure. But what we're finding is that it's so hard to be spontaneous and free without the sense of having a structure because you're being bogged down by to-dos and you're not on a routine that gets all the basic tasks that need to be done so that we're basically filling up our calendar with more to-dos and not as much fun. So I think it's important to prioritize and schedule all the things that need to get done, as well as prioritizing and scheduling play, because if it's not in the calendar, it isn't going to happen.
Well, that's why it's important to be looking at Like, what do you need to be doing on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and on a monthly basis? And getting that hammered down to where it's either automated, it's delegated to somebody else, or you've pared it down to so few steps that it's easy for you to get done. And maybe you've even offloaded it cheap, like you can do now. There's so many ways to offload work, and just be creative with how you do it. There may be somebody that you know that wants to clean your house. There may be somebody who wants to, paint your rooms or whatever it is. And so make sure that you're offloading tasks that you don't need to be the person to do. I mean, that's one of the biggest things that we've learned. If you want to be able to have more time, you have to do less stuff. So if you think that you're going to do all the stuff that you normally do in your day, plus have another 6 to 8 hours of fun things to do, it's not happening. And so you have to figure out, do I really need to do these things? And if it's not me that has to do them and they still need to get done, is there somebody out there that I can hire on the cheap, or some way that I can make it easy for me so that I can have those extra hours? Because you're going to have to eliminate something. That's one of the most important things to realize in life, is that if you want to add new things, you have to take something else away. So that's why in the springtime we purge. That's why we were talking about purging as when winter came along. I was like, when we got in the beginning of this year, we got on here and talked about purging, because that's exactly what we went through, because I knew I needed space.
I'm still in the purge mode.
And I'm talking about everything, pruning back every single thing in your life. I mean, that's how you grow a wonderful garden. You got to prune back the stuff that's just not working anymore, because it drains the life from everything else that's involved in there. And so once you get everything pruned back, and that's how many emails you get in your inbox. You inundated with that? Are you just dealing with too many things? Is your mind cluttered? Is your place junky? Like, you have to start looking at that and saying, how's that affecting my life? And then what is that not allowing me to have room for? Like, it's that new space that you have to create if you want to do new cool stuff. And so for us, we got our essential projects. We know exactly what we're doing this summer. We know the big projects that we're working on, and we're not taking on more stuff. We've done that in the past before. We just loaded every single possible thing into the bucket, and then it sucked. And the work doesn't come out as good, only because you didn't have as much time to devote to it, because you devoted time to everything. And so we've narrowed it down to 5 things that we're doing over the summer. Real big items for us, real big movers and shakers, going to change the business. A lot of exciting things coming up for you guys. I mean, we have some things planned for this summer and towards the end of this year and next year I would just talk about books in the work. I mean, listen, a lot of cool stuff's happening, but we knew that we wanted to play at the same time, so we can only do those big projects. That means saying no to a lot of things. That means having boundaries set up so that you're honest with people. Say, hey, look, I'm working on something really big for me right now. I think you're going to love it too. So I need you to support me a little bit. I'm not going to have as much time as I normally do, but we're still going to get together. I still want to support you. I need a little time for myself.
You know what else is interesting? I am being tested with lots of other creative projects that are distractions, that are money makers, but they're not aligned with the passion projects and goals that I have for myself. So I'm really in an interesting situation of is this meant for me? Is this going to move me towards my goals, or is this going to distract me even further? So that's, I'm throwing that out there for anyone who may be going through that too.
So those are big questions right now. What is it that you want that's going to be fun? Well, what's going to light you up this summer and say, that'd be awesome? We want to go paddleboarding, we want to go kayaking, we're going to go on some big hikes, we're going to road trip out over to California. And so I know that's our list.
Are we going to California, or are we going to Glacier National Park?
It's very possible we're going to Glacier. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We'll let you know.
We'll map out both and then see which one just seems like the most fun. And
we'd love your input.
So get your list. Get your list out and start making it down. And if you have a partner or a friend or something that you like hanging out with all the time, roommate, whatever, you got a mom you hang out with, get them involved too. Say, hey, and for our list, we were on a car ride. It was hey, what would be fun to do? Let's jot a list down. And boom, 10 minutes later, we've got a beautiful list of fun things that we've been wanting to go do and just haven't made space for. And so the first thing you think about is, where's your list at? What do you got on the list? The second thing you want to be thinking about is, who do you want to bring along? Who are those cool people that you want to invite into your life to experience those fun things with you? And it can be different people, change it up a little bit. It's amazing what I find out about the people who we go on vacation with. Sometimes it really strengthens the relationships. Sometimes you realize this person's a little crazy. And that's fine. That allows you to both grow and understand each other. And the other thing you want to be asking is, what are you going to get rid of? What are those things that are just hogging up space in your life? I mean, are you just watching way too much TV and that doesn't allow you to go out and hike and explore the, beauties of the world? Doesn't allow you to be out in nature? Doesn't allow you to, we're thinking about taking a pottery class.
Yes, you're going to do it?
Yeah. I mean, I took pottery in college, so in some in high school. So I like the potter's wheel. It's actually something that we owned. My family had one.
That's so crazy. So let's talk about why we're doing the Summer of Fun. Obviously, we've been cooped up for the last 2 years, kind of caged in. All the entertainment has been taken away, all the connection, basically all the fun was sucked dry. And I decided it is time to let my inner child out after the last goddess retreat and seeing grown ass women in their 50s fucking sledding down a snowy mountain and laughing and playing and blowing bubbles and putting stickers all over shit. Like, it made me feel so good, and it reminded me that none of us outgrow that need for nurture.
Yeah, and you come back in a different way, because what people don't understand is that when you play, what you're really doing is you're bringing out all the childlike things in you. And the most crucial childlike thing in you is your imagination. And what happens is when you're super creative and you're super imaginative, you come up with solutions to problems that have been plaguing you for forever. And suddenly the answer's right there. And it's because you invoked your imagination for a few moments. And that only happens with either relaxation, which you should be having some time doing that too, but fun. But literally having fun, because you know you're having fun when you're in the moment.
In the moment.
Time dilates. Time does really weird things when you're having fun. You know, it can either feel really short, or it can feel like you're in a moment for a really long time. Like, you know, sometimes you have a really good kiss and you're like, holy smokes. And like, I was trapped in that moment for a lifetime, which was amazing. And I liked it. But so look for those moments in your life where you feel the time dilate like that. And so you think, wow, this is something enjoyable. I got to be doing more of this, because being in the present moment like that allows you to be more creative and allows you to find really hidden answers. And it sounds so simple, but how many of us are really just playing, just enjoying ourselves?
Yeah, here's your quote. Playing in the present moment always brings clarity.
Boom.
I mean, I'm telling you, like, clarity comes from clearing out your mind, from making space to be present, to allow that new information that's operating on a different channel. Those intuitive insights and strikes of clarity and inspiration and aha moments don't come from thinking. They come from the space beyond thinking, and the only way that you can access that is in the present, in play, in relaxation.
So when you're thinking about what's your summer of fun going to look like, you don't have to think about it as, well, I'm taking time away from this other project that I'm working on. The play and the rest and the friendships and the things that you'll develop. I started out talking about how in 2020 we took that trip with BRIT's family, and the memories that we made there are lifetime memories. You will not make memories just looking at your to-do list. It's going to take you doing something a little bit different in your life. It's going to take you not just being the ordinary person that you normally are, even if that person's super cool. You have to get away. You have to have fun again. You have to invite adventure into your life. You have to do something that maybe makes you struggle a little bit. Maybe it's a little bit hard for you. Maybe it's physically challenging. Maybe it's mentally challenging. Just push yourself out of that comfort zone just a little bit. Not far. You know, you don't have to jump out of a plane without a parachute. That's crazy. We're talking about just a little bit of extra adventure.
So your homework today is to write down all the things that bring out your inner child, that make you have fun, that activate a sense of play and excitement in your life. If that's going to the lake or throwing a frisbee or flying a kite. Chris and I are actually going to throw a big summer bash and rent out a roller skating rink and invite all of our friends. They don't know about it yet, so everyone who listens to the podcast, like, surprise!
Hold on, quick plug. So Brick got his new pair of skates. If you're a skater, like, I was a skater. I grew up, I was born in the 80s, and the skating was a thing. I mean, it was a super thing. And it was just where all this fun stuff was happening on the weekends. Britt got a brand new pair of skates. I think you saw somebody else had some, right?
Yeah, the Impala skates, which were not sponsored by any means, but they were having a 50% off sale. And some of the goddesses from the retreat were like, we're buying skates. And so we basically just started a skate club. And as I've been posting about my new hobby, I'm finding a lot more people have skates as well, or want to skate.
So another thing you can be thinking about in your summer of fun is what stuff used to light you up.
Yeah.
Like, what was it that was super cool? Like, I remember for me, and it can be foods too. It can be experiences that you had. Like for me, I always remember my mom setting out a big gallon pitcher of sun tea. So like me going out and having sun tea again is just having that fun, bringing back those memories that I had as a kid and making new memories sparked off of those, or bringing other people to enjoy the kind of fun that I used to do. Say, hey, we used to do this. This is awesome. Try it out. Try this watermelon with salt. We're
oh my gosh.
All right, so we're from the South. Apparently, I didn't know that.
But it was a Southern thing.
That watermelon with salt is a thing from the South.
So we want to know: do you salt your watermelon?
And if you don't, what are you doing in life?
Yeah,
what's happening?
You're
it's
missing
so good.
out.
Get some of that Himalayan pink salt. Oh, it's something different.
So good. So the Summer of Fun really is designed to bring out your inner child. And all of this may sound like, oh, well, how frivolous. They just want to play all fucking summer. But the truth is, we're playing to be in the present moment, to get the clarity for the next steps of that chapter that's evolving, because we can feel that there's a massive shift of leaving behind the old and stepping into the new. And anytime you're shifting between those, we come to a sense of uncertainty because our footing isn't solid in the foundation of who we are becoming, and we don't want to be who we've been. So we have to have faith in the future, and that always comes from being present, because when we're present, we're not worrying about the past, we're not worrying about the future, and in the present moment we can find the truth of what that next step is and have the intuitive confirmation that it feels right.
Man, I think the big part of that is when you have that much play, when you inject that much play, intentional play into your life, when you plan for it, when you get other people to conspire with you to plan for it, what I think you do is that it's almost like all of you get together so that you can discover more about yourselves. I always discover more about myself. Sometimes I discover I'm a lot tougher than I thought I was. Sometimes I discover that I'm a lot more humble than I thought I was. You know, the things out there can get you. And so it's just so good to start having that kind of discovery, because you take that back into your normal, everyday, regular life. Without the adventure, I mean, really, without the adventure, we are just tasks. And that's just, that's not, that's not a way to live life. We weren't put here on this planet so that we could just be so we could be task hoppers. It's just not it. We're put here so that we can enjoy things, so that we can experience things. And that kind of experiencing happens outside the four walls of your house. And so get out there, start having some fun, start being intentional about it, start thinking it through, and start deciding, like, I want to do this in my life. This sounds awesome. Let's go do it. That's what you want to say. When you hear yourself say, this sounds awesome, the next thing coming out of your mouth should be, let's go do it.
Shorten the gap with the action and inspiration. And there, I think, is where the magic is.
Bingo.
This was such a good one. I want to know what you're going to do this summer to have fun. So be sure to reach out, to find us, to tag us, to share it on Instagram, whatever you got to do to spread the good vibes. We hope you have the best freaking summer, and we will catch you next week. Peace. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Elevated Life Podcast. Want more? Join us at theelevatedlifeclub.com for mindset upgrades, lifestyle hacks, and spiritual tools to elevate your soul.
Each month features a new masterclass, meditation, yoga practice, and more to help you transform your life one step at a time.
Come join the 7 or Above Club.